recent, a year ago, and it's still within statute of limitations, and we can prosecute. We can prosecute.
Right.
We can use the letter of the law, and even though you're putting yourself in career suicide, I think we could be having a more serious conversation. But we're having, they're coming out telling their story now. Well, it's not going to do it, especially to Al Franken. How long he's been in Senate now? What? He's been reelected twice.
This has got to be his second or third term.
Yeah. So what he's going to do? He's going to be a lame duck, and he's not going to go back out there and rerun for president for Senate because he knows that he's tarnished. But he's already made his millions. He's already secured a decent retirement for the rest of his life. All he has to do is just go hang out with whoever he's fucking this today. I don't even know. Go back to doing comedy, whatever he wants to do, and he still be successful. And this reporter will sadly just be another bleep in the timeline of what that is, the story of Washington, D.C.
Well, I think, I'm going to go a little different on that with you here because, I think the reporter's going to get a little bit more notoriety. I think she's going to get a little bit more acceptance with some folks and stuff. And I think they're going to want me, to tell her story. And I think it's going to come out to something for her. But Al Franken, and I was throwing out some hashtags earlier, resign Al Franken. I'm sorry. Roy Moore's only got accusations thrown at him. And I don't care if it was one person or 100 people. Accusations. Whenever there's an accusation on somebody on the right, the moment just the accusation is enough for everyone to say, you know what, you need to withdraw from the race. You need to resign. You need to do whatever for the good of the country. Well, you know what, Al Franken, there's no mistaking that was you doing what you did. So you know what, resign. Save the taxpayers' money. We don't need a Senate ethics probe or anything like that. Just resign. Be done. Move on. Don't do whatever it is you do. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out the Senate.
Yeah, well, that's one subject. Now I want to really pivot on this raw news article about the deported veterans. Now,
I'm so glad you brought that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, this article said that it's not many compared to the people that serve, right? So this is a very minority few that this happens to. It was about 236 vets that came to the United States illegally in a younger age and, enlisted in the United States Army or United States military. Now, it's easy to say Raw News is a left-leaning site and this is fake news, right? Hashtag fake news. I'm going to say, hold up. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. And if this story is corroborated, and it looks, according to the sources in this article, it looks very, very, very plausible to be true. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that they're they're 100% right on this, but I'm gonna tell you this: if there's even one veteran that got deported, that's an issue.
I can tell you with 100% certainty that story is accurate. I can tell you that, these are the so-called dreamers, the kids that got brought across illegally, and because of their status, it's still considered an illegal status. Whether, from 8 months to 80 years, sick leave, lazy, everything in between. It's a statutory thing, yes, but it's still violation of the law. So, categorically, they're still considered to be illegal immigrants. And these kids grow up here in America knowing nothing other than, their ethnicity, which you're taught at home, but they know only the town they're in. Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, Dallas, wherever. These kids end up growing up. Some of them end up joining the service. Now, I'm a very hardliner on when it comes to illegal immigration. It's very simple how you cure it. You enforce the laws we currently have. You deport whole families at a time. It's end of story. And you don't need to deport 12 million people. You deport 1 million. Because the moment you start, other people are going to start self-deporting. The problem takes care of itself once you start enforcing the laws. You take away the incentive for other people to come in. But here's the catch. Do you ever see that movie Starship Troopers?
I love that movie. It's horrible, but it's great.
I'll tell you. It's, oh my God, special effects are horrible. The acting's even worse. But the premise behind it,
that redhead in the movie is
love.
delicious, though.
Right. The book is even better. But the idea is that, service means citizenship. If these folks choose to serve our country, to write a blank check up into including your life, to me, that's, you paid your debt. You probably know your history better than most Americans. But you know what? Here's your green card. As a matter of fact, forget the green card. You're just an American. End of story. End of discussion. There it is. And from what I understand it, there's a center down there in Mexico City for veterans, American veterans, because there's a number of folks that have gotten deported and they don't even speak a lick of English or a lick of Spanish. So how are they supposed to cope down there if they can't speak the language?
Well, and I think and I'm sorry, let me make a quick correction on myself. The site is called rawstory.com, and yeah, they're a left-leaning site, but this I think this is a very good article, and it's something that people should be aware of, because I think you hit it right on the nail of the head. Service means citizenship, and how many veterans do I know, being Hispanic, that they came here from Nicaragua, from Salvador, from Guatemala, and they served. They did, their 4 years. They did their 8 years. They did their 15 years. However long they did, they came out 100% blown American. And not only American, they have the American citizenship to prove it. And, my whole thing, just like I tell people about with issues about Puerto Rico, if you bleed for this country, you deserve, you're owed the right to have the same rights as any other natural-born American. Now, we're not saying give them special treatment, because veterans already have the GI Bill. They already have everything that they could possibly ask for if they can tap into it. Now, there is a broken system, which is a whole other issue to talk about. But, they have, free schooling. They have, special things that make them a special citizen for serving the country in a military fashion. But
yeah, there are special privileges that are earned, through their service. Like you mentioned, a GI Bill. You got 10 points for hiring status, depending on what you're applying for, and there's a number of other things. But unquestionably, these folks, they put themselves on the line. I mean, I think the estimation is less than 1% of the American population serves in the military.
3%, according to latest polls. 3% of the American population.
3%.
3% of the American population served in some form or fashion. And unfortunately, I'm part of the other 97% that didn't serve. So I pray and thank every veteran that's out there, including you, Ed, and people like my father, and so many friends that I know that are serving right now overseas in North Korea, Iraq. I'm just going to continue to say this, that you guys are my heroes. You guys do the things that I couldn't do. And you allow me to sleep in my bed comfortably at night, because I know there's people like you guys protecting not only my freedoms, but your family's freedoms. And I know you do it selflessly. I don't care if you're flipping a burger on the USS Reagan or digging in a hole somewhere in the desert of Iraq. You're serving our country with distinction.
And that's the thing, a lot of us, we always appreciate the thanks and everything else, but one of the things that, as we come up in the service, we realize is that in order to protect our way of life, there has to be a select few that do it, because the majority of people, this is called protecting the body politic, and that's not to take away from anything from the other 97%, because the other 90% you're serving in your own way. You serving, your jobs, your economy, your family. Everybody serves in different ways. And that's the beauty of the system I think that we have here. But the problem is, and there's always a problem somewhere, when we have an individual who came across the border illegally as a child, and I don't want to be, misquoted as being in defense of dreamers or anything else like that. Because, just because you go to college, that doesn't make you special. everybody goes to college these days. And honestly, that's getting a college degree and associate degree is really no different than getting a high school diploma 15, 20 years ago. You know, it's almost expected to a certain degree. And honestly, when you're getting like useless degrees like, you know, Indonesian basket weaving, okay, that just shows that you can stick to something. But when you actually do something that matters, actually something that has consequence, I kind of think you earned it. You know?
No, yeah, 100%.
Say, you know, something given has no value. It's give amnesty to everybody. Citizenship has no value at that point. These folks, you know, there needs to be a bigger voice. There needs to be, you know, I honestly think this is a topic that needs to be harped on until someone, you know, in positions of power do something about it.
Oh no, for sure. It's sad, right? Because those, you know, those couple hundred veterans that are down there in Mexico, that outside of, you know, their heritage and bloodline that comes directly from there, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're proud to be Mexican to an extent, right? Everything about them is 100% American, and these are the stories, right? These are the stories that get me to this disgusting point in my life where I know that big government isn't the answer. These are the stories that I know why I'm a conservative. These are the stories that make me fight for them, because conservative values don't let veterans get deported. Plain and simple. If anything, we want to hug these guys. We want to give them a hero's welcome. We want to provide the very best for our veterans and not treat them like the criminals that they're. And forgive me for anybody who's a dreamer out there, because I to an extent, I agree that you guys have the right to live and have the right to pursue happiness, but your parents committed a crime according to the American law, you know, according to the American law, but you didn't. You said, I'm going to serve. I'm going to be part of this country. I'm going to be a citizen and contribute to this country that's given me so much. And it's indefensible. It has to be a program error, and I mean by a program error is like an algorithm. There's always a bug in an algorithm, and you got to find it. These few hundred veterans, or however many there actually is, the article only mentions 236, but how many has there been in the past over time? You know,
right.
A couple thousand. This can't happen. It shouldn't be happening, and we need to bring our leaders and hold our leaders accountable. I don't care which party they're on. We can't let veteran service members in the military that pledged an allegiance to the United States of America and its Constitution be deported to Mexico. Nothing against Mexicans. Really, I do love you guys. I'm married to a beautiful, beautiful Mexican woman, but it's impossible. We can't do it. If anything, we need to empower them to build their communities where they're at and where they were.
And the other thing, too, is, you know, and as a veteran, and I got to take a little shame in this here, because I've heard this story and I've read about this story, I would say at least a year ago. And this is a story that I probably should have kept up on. And when you posted it up here just earlier today, everything just kind of came back to me. You know, you had a few comments in there, you know, this can't be real. It's got to be fake. And I'm like, oh no, this is accurate. This is real. And, you know, so I feel a little bit of shame in not having followed up on this. So I want to thank you for bringing this to the forefront, because I honestly think this is, you know, and I have a number of topics that I like to harp on, because if you don't do it, then someone else is going to control the narrative. If you don't do it, people are just going to kind of forget about it, because the next big thing will have popped up. You know, so for me, as a veteran, these are my brothers and sisters. You know, my brothers and sisters in arms. And like I said, if they want to be back home here, then damn it, this is where they should be.
100.
You know, to me, it's not even a discussion.
Hold on, I think that deserves a round of applause. I think we're going to give you a round of applause.